I mean, I wasn't supposed to live beyond 2 days according to the doctors.
Really?
But I'm here. 2 days to 20. I mean, that couldn't have been any of us.
And I hope you're loving Jaipur.
I
I hope Jaipur is treating you well.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. We've been loving it. We're going around seeing all the places. Jantar Mantar, City Palace, Gurdaji, different places. We still have to see Chowki Dani.
Yes.
We're gonna get there.
Yes.
I mean, everyone here is just so nice. I mean, yeah, I'm really honored to be here today. So thank you for doing this interview thing.
Thank you. So you have been, I guess you have been to many cities in India. Right? So what is so different about Jaipur? What is something that is standing out?
The food.
Yeah.
I think the most recognizable difference is the food. The kachori curry, the samosa curry, the dal bati.
Can you remember the moment when you discovered music for the first time?
I don't think I could because of infantile amnesia, but my mom and dad would definitely remember. They always are telling me that when I was little, just while I was driving, like when they were driving in the cars, especially, we used to do long drives a lot, just going nowhere, but for a long time, and they would just be playing music from their phone on the car, and they would be singing it, and I would be looking at the back of the car because that's how car seats were supposed to face. And so I was so little, I used to sit in a car seat. And so I started listening. I was still listening. And then I started humming these songs, and mom and dad caught me. And then as I grew older, and I started learning to speak, I would hear mama and papa say, start singing something. And then somehow I was like, no, that's not right. You have to sing it like this. I would try to correct them. And that's when I realized, okay, this music thing is something pretty special. And
so how has your musical journey been?
oh man, where do I start? It has been crazy, amazing. I could talk facts, that we've been in 10 countries, 300 plus live performances. The national anthem thing was at Howdy Modi was the biggest performance, and what I'd heard people say were organizing the event was that 2 billion people watched that TV and the internet and everything. So I mean, there have been some really big, and then the YouTube views and stuff for Eminem covers and other viral videos. I mean, we could go on and on and on about that, but there's still so much, and I'm always telling people this is only the beginning. It's never ever gonna end, and it's in progress. It's they say in Pokemon at the end of every episode, as the journey continues. Exactly, that's exactly what this is.
That's amazing. So when you sang that Eminem song and it went viral, what were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
First,
you must be very young at that time, right?
13. I think I was 12 too when I recorded it. But that was first. Because I feel like we talk about things going viral, but you never know what it feels like to go viral or how fast viral videos.
Overnight you become famous.
Exactly.
You wake up and wow.
I wouldn't say famous, but yeah, I know what you're saying. You don't know until it happens to you.
You just do it out of fun and suddenly it's the
Yes,
next big thing.
Exactly. And for so many years before, we were getting excited about I got 100 more hits, I got 1,000 hits, views, and then one day it was 400 something views that night, and then we wake up in the morning and it's 72,000. Wow. So it was just
crazy.
And another thing is too is they say, right? A lot of times the best answer to negativity is just silence.
Yes.
And that's what happened. We never really said anything. And then the even bigger thing happened was people started fighting on my behalf. Right? And it just goes to show you the people who really care about you, they fight for you. right?
Can you please tell us more about osteogenesis imperfecta?
Yeah.
And also, obviously, being disabled is not easy, and you don't want people to show you sympathy or pity you. So, what do you want the people to react?
So osteo, right? Bones.
Yeah.
Genesis, creation. Imperfecta, take out the A, imperfect. So literally it means the creation of the bones is imperfect. And the way that it is, it's a genetic disorder. So I was born with it, and so far there isn't a cure. But, because of that, my bones are more fragile than normal.
Yeah.
And, OI is a spectrum. The way we have different types of diabetes, there are several types of OI. So some people with my condition have a different type, and it's strong enough that they can walk, they can run, they can jump, they can do everything. But their bones are still weaker. And some, it's so difficult that a lot of us, babies, especially more severe types, don't survive their first year. It's very tough. I used to tell everyone, God closed the door on my ability to walk, but He opened the door to my voice, and He opened the door to a brilliant mind. Stevie Wonder, maybe you've heard that story, right? He was a kid, he found a mouse. Nobody else could, because his hearing was so acute. And so, same thing is like, it's really not about disability, it's about different ability. Why God made people like us. Because He wants to prove to the whole world, number one, there's no such thing as normal. And second, the weak are given favor to confuse the strong.
So your nickname Purhythm is very unique.
That's a great question. Okay, so I'll take it that bit by bit. So Purhythm is pure, like the word pure, should plus rhythm, lay, and then put that together. It's interesting because there's one of my favorite musicians, his name is David Augustine Jr. He's a hip-hop artist. And he talked about there's a psychological term for this, and he made a song about it. It's called cognitive dissonance.
Music or album you are envisioning a Grammy for, and how would it help your career?
I like to say I'm genre defying. On pretty much the same thing. And so I write in all genres, but I categorize my songs in themes, like topics. So I have inspirational songs, I have romantic songs, I have spiritual songs, I have holiday songs, I have educational songs. Like that's literally the topics I have. That's how I group them. And I was thinking of a name for a while, and wait, should I say this? You know what? Why not? Because I always tell people my ultimate vision in life is to sparsh people's hearts. And someone had put it this way, like sparsh the world. And I was thinking about it because, how do you name your first album? How do you name an album that's inspirationally received? And then somehow it came up to sparsh the world.
That was the next question. Actually, we love listening to you. You are really good at it. So I can sit here all day and listen to you. So do you remember the first time you did your motivational speaking or public speaking? And when did you realize that, wow, this is something that I can touch people's heart?
First inspirational speech I had given to a public audience was the TED Talk in Mumbai in 2016. And I'm so glad that it was the first, because first of all, they prepared us so rigorously, months and months of writing and drafting and rewriting and redrafting, all of that. And then we went to Mumbai, and for a couple of weeks they kept drilling us. They made me do the speech a few times a day, and so that was really helpful. I'll give you an example. When I did my TED Talk, I had said, anyone who's watched this, you know what I'm talking about. I had said as one of my dreams is I want to do Berklee College of Music and finish the degree while in high school. That was the dream. I wanted to try doing both at the same time. Now, the way things turned out, high school itself was so stressful, and not just because high school worked, but because I was also traveling around the world at that time. That was around the time that Not Afraid became viral. That was toward the end of my middle school, my secondary school. And so then I was going around the world. It was tough to balance everything. I couldn't even focus on getting better as a singer. I wasn't practicing much during that time.
We have been to a lot of countries, a lot of cities, so you have been touring a lot. So, is there any city or country in your wish list right now?
I don't know which country. I think it's both Kenya and Tanzania. I would love to go there one day. I want to see those animals up close. I'm always had that thing, like, so when I was in Guldaji, right? Like, it was exactly like the monkey, like the monkeys were like this close. And I was like, I wish I had a fruit. I want to feed them. Pandit Jasraji, my Guruji's guru.
Okay.
He had that story where once he was at a Hanuman temple and doing a concert, and I think it was Tori. He was singing Rag Tori, and he was so deep into it, and the doors were open, and a deer came bounding in the middle of the stage and stopped right where Bade Guruji was. And Bade Guruji was in like complete like sadhana mode, and he opened his eyes, saw the deer, and greeted him, Namaste. So like the deer, like Anna, the music is not just for us.
Yeah.
I was singing Tori, and I look back, like to focus my direction on the center, and I see this big female mom deer, like coming right there, like right your distance, walking like that. I'm like, you can hear me, can't you? we do this. We step on a stick and the deers go.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, she was right there. And I was like, Modi ji, first of all, pranam, hi. I think it's really important to say that, like, thank you for all the progress that you've helped to make for us. Because India, when I visited it the first time 14 years ago, there is a massive difference from what it is now. Even in the hometown Surat, like there are now so many more public places that have ramps and elevators, and even the flats and everything are being built that way. And so that is it's beautiful.
So how tough was it for you, and what gave you the motivation on how your perspective changed toward the whole situation?
So this is what we're going to actually talk about in our speech tomorrow. But no, it's always tough, right? So I think the first thing that happened when Sparsh was born, he had 30 plus fractures, right?
Yes.
And when doctors came to us and said, he's only 2 days to live, it was something that hit us suddenly. And we never expected anything like that, right? And when something like that happens, the first thing that comes to your mind is, why God me? Right? And to answer your question, how did I change that perspective? Was I actually called my dad in the middle of the night from US to India. And I told him, I said, Dad, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that, we have a baby boy. But the bad news is he has only 2 days to live. And I told him, I said, Dad, why did God do this to us? Right? Why does my child have to suffer? And my dad told me something which literally changed my life. And he said, Hiren, why God gave you Sparsh is because He knows that you can be the best parent to him. You are the chosen one. And I feel that from the bottom of my heart now, that I have come in this world, for something special, right? आज मैं भगवान को बोलता हूँ कि thank you for giving me Sparsh in my life, right? Because without him, we would not have been who we are, right? I would not have realized things early in my young youth when, I thought I had everything under my control, right? I was the first one from my MBA class to go to US on an H-1B visa. I had the best job, the best everything, right? But the things that I learned through the journey with Sparsh, right, with his medical condition, going to hospitals, I don't even remember now how many times I've been to a hospital, right, with 150 fractures and all these surgeries, right? So now I've realized that no matter, what the situation is, if you accept that yes, this is what it is, and we have to make the best out of it.
I'm super grateful that you admire my work and that you appreciate me for what I'm doing. Ultimately, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I feel like that's my purpose, that's my calling, and I want you all to know that you can do the same. You may not be a musician like me. You may not, have the kind of condition or backstory that I have, but you have your own unique story. Nobody can repeat that. Nobody. You have your own, strengths and your own weaknesses. And even if someone has the same strengths and weaknesses as you, and someone has the same passion as you, there are probably millions of musicians around the world that do the same kinds of things I do. And maybe if you're thinking the whole of the career, maybe a few 100,000s or something. But nobody can repeat my story. And I cannot repeat any of their stories. So it's like they say, right? Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Why? Don't be me. Be yourself. Be the person who God made you to be. Because that's what I'm trying to be.